This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.
What is happening, you guys? Welcome back to the Let's Go Win podcast. We're here for a Tuesday tune-up, and you're kind of a guest now. I can't call you a host. You're more of a guest. So I'm J.M. Ryerson, and
I'm Lisa Ryerson.
Thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome.
What prompted this impromptu show up, or I don't know, cameo appearance?
Well, it was Valentine's Day yesterday, so you ran around, found me chocolate dipped strawberries, and I figured I'd be your guest today.
Yeah, hopefully everyone else planned a little bit better than I did. Yeah, I even wrote down in my notes it was Valentine's Day and still forgot. So, but I did get it accomplished. Chocolate dipped strawberries were delivered along with duck donuts, which those are pretty awesome, I guess. I don't know. I don't eat donuts. So
yes, I love donuts.
I wish I could. All right, but that's not why we're here today. We are going to be talking about, are you an employee, a professional, or a legend? And I pose this question because whenever I think about our jobs, our careers, we spend approximately 1/3 of our life doing these things. And so for the moment, let's just forget enjoyment of that career, although I hope everyone does. I want people to have pride, take pride in their profession. And I just can't imagine not doing something 1/3 of your life. And so that's why I wrote about this, because I've been that sounded pretty egotistical. I can't call myself a legend. Okay. That would be terrible, but I've definitely been an employee where I really didn't give a shit, but I showed up and that didn't feel great. And so that's my simplistic definition of an employee, is showing up and quite simply doing the job well enough not to get fired. And
where was that at?
Well, I certainly at Enterprise, I felt that way towards the end. No,
I've always I mean, from what I know, I think you've always given 100%, regardless.
Well, thank you. Okay, so maybe the effort was there, but I certainly wasn't there mentally.
No,
how's that?
You were not happy.
Okay, my second company would be a great example. I did give 100% effort, but wasn't mentally all there. And I definitely felt like an employee at that point. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you were not happy.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the point is showing up and getting paid, which is great. I mean, that's why you do it, but that's not fulfillment.
No.
And so I don't know if you have a thought on just being an employee, but this is something I talk to Trey about all the time. I'm like, take pride in your job. And if at some point you no longer feel pride in whatever you're doing, stop.
Right. Well, it's really funny because, okay, so Trey, our second son, is hysterical. Like I don't even know where he comes from. Honestly, I don't feel like he's like me. He's not like JM. Like he's definitely different.
He's unique.
Yeah. And so it's funny because we'll be, I don't know, in a fast food restaurant or whatever. And he literally sits there and points out, like after we leave, he's like, oh, that person did not have pride in their job. Or sometimes they do and they're amazing and they're going, hey, have a great day. And then Trey will comment, oh, they have a lot of pride in their job. That was awesome, Mom. So it's just funny how, a 12-year-old, like he knows, between that. And so we have that discussion with him now. Yes, you don't have a job, Trey, but let's take pride in our courses in school, right? Like the ones he loves, he does great in. He has A's and everything. In the one class he does not enjoy, he is not putting 100% effort into that. So we're trying to instill that in.
Well, and the reason is because the fulfillment is the word that's coming to mind immediately, whether it's schoolwork, baseball, cleaning your room. Like, don't just show up and do the job. Have fun, take pride in what you're doing. And I think that's what being a professional is taking that next step to say, I don't want to just show up, but I want to be the best. I want to be known as, again, for TJ, our other boy, the best tennis player, or, certainly goes about it in a professional manner, whether he is the number one ranked or not, which he's not at this point, but he takes pride in what he does. You can just see how fulfilled he is when he's doing these. And so that would be the next step up, is to really say, I want to succeed in what I'm doing. I want to have great pride in what I'm doing. And I want people to look at me and say, look, this guy or gal really has it put together. They genuinely care about what they do. So I don't know, when I say professional, do you have a picture in your mind, something that when you think of this is a professional, this is what that looks like?
Like a person per se?
I don't know, just the word alone. Because when
Yeah.
I say professional, I picture this person as being, when I think of a baseball player, I know exactly who that professional looks like. And they're all pros when I'm thinking of this, but then there's that next tier where you're like, that guy in baseball terms really cares about what he does.
Yeah. And I guess the word that comes to my mind is class act, right? Like, it's not like they're just amazing at their sport or they're amazing at their job. They take it to a whole nother level of professionalism where people respect them. They're leaders. They're people that, people look up to. That's what
a class act. So no, that's fine. I mean, everybody has a different definition, but when I think of class act, then it's that cut above. It's that they're neatly pressed, which I'm the wrong person to say that because I am not. I am t-shirt and hat guy. But when it comes to being a professional, there's a certain level of just really care about what you're doing. You have a knowledge that exceeds just being that employee. And then the next one, this is what I hope to be someday. And why I work so hard every day and what I do is to be a legend. And when I think of legend, there are, again, I think in terms of athletics, typically there are a few that I think of in business, but like Muhammad Ali, I'm looking right in front of me at one of my favorite pictures is Muhammad Ali, my favorite athlete. Kobe Bryant would be one, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady just retired. These are legends. And it's not because necessarily of accolades, although I think that's part of it, but they just go the extra mile. That work ethic is like unworldly in what they're willing to do to achieve this status. So when I say legend or legendary, do you have your own definition or maybe thoughts of who that might be?
Yeah, to me, they're absolute superhumans, right? So people that come to my mind as legends would be Oprah Winfrey. There's Harriet Tubman. There's, Maya Angelou, right? Those are the people that I'm like, holy crap. Like, they made a huge difference in the world and they're leaving their legacy and it has affected generations past, right? So that's what I look at.
So in your own personal life, is that something that you are shooting for? Because legacy is such a fascinating term for me, because I'll ask you the same question. I did this on a podcast. Your great grandparents. So that's only 3. So great grandparents. What was their names? What did they do?
Yeah, no idea. I barely know what my grandparents did, but the majority of them had passed before I was born. But I don't consider them legendary because if they were, like, we would be reading about them, right? Like, if something, people have family members that have been legendary, right? Like, that have descendants of them. That would not be in my family that I know of.
No. Again, so legacy is where I was going with that. It's such an interesting term because I know my great grandparents, but past that, I really don't. And I don't know what they did. Now, I guess they could still be legendary. Like, I know would have been my great grandmother was a really famous painter. But unless you're really in that world, you wouldn't know it. But she was a legend based on when I talked to my grandmother before she passed, because of the amount of pride she took, the amount of effort she put into her work. She reached legendary status in her own world. But again, I got sidetracked a bit because when you say legacy, it's such a fascinating word to me. And it's something that I spend a lot of time on because, truth be told, my legacy is with you and the boys. Past that, it's Let's Go Win. And that's why it's not jmryerson.com. It's letsgowin.com, because I want it to go way past my name. this company will go on for a long time. Anything else you think of? When it was an interesting article to write, because again, I've worn the hat of being an employee. I've certainly worn the hat, I hope, every single day as being a professional. I hope people hear this podcast and go, oh, you know what? That guy, he does do a pretty darn good job, and he gives it his all. And someday that'll be legendary status. That would be my hope. But that's kind of how I look at how am I showing up every single day in this job, in this career, in this, whatever we're pursuing. How do I show up? And that's the tiers that I look at.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we were all put on this earth, I truly believe, for a reason. Like we're not just put on this earth. I feel like every single human has their special talents or special gifts to give to the world. And we weren't just to put here to walk through it like zombies or not take pride in what we do. I truly believe we were put here to make a dent, right? To make the world a better place in your own way. So like, for example, your great grandmother was put on this earth to paint these beautiful paintings and make an impact maybe for future artists, right? To share their talents with the world. And I know for me, and I tell the kids all the time, like my goal, my legacy that I want to leave, because most of you know, my brother passed away from cancer 10 years ago. And so it's been really exciting because my nonprofit is finally starting. We're getting the website done. I'm having my first event on May 21st, to raise money for cancer research. And my goal is to raise $33 million by the time it's time for me to leave this earth. And I told my kids, I go, hey, if mom and dad, if we can't hit that goal, then that is your duty to continue on that legacy. And that's something I want to instill in our kids and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, that you are put on this earth for a reason. And it's so important to give back and to help others because we've been so blessed. And that's what we're here to do, is make the world a better place.
Well, congratulations on Let's
you.
Go Give, because I know you've worked hard and you're going to help and impact a lot of people and generations moving forward. I will say 33 million. Is that personally? Because I'm just going to say you're going to do way more than that.
Well, thank you.
That's just true.
Oh, that's just your goal.
That's my goal is to donate 33 million.
So and 66.
That's by 2033. So we're clear. There's a shelf life where it's like, okay, donating by then. If I don't hit that, then I will have failed.
Well, you better get going, bro.
I'm working on it. So ask yourselves, getting back to this, am I an employee, a legend, or a professional? Employee, professional, or legend? Use it every single day. Motivate you to show up. And if you're not feeling it, find that passion, because it's so worth it, you guys. So speaking of, I would love for you guys to let us know if you know of any legends that we should know, that we should have on the show. There's people in all sorts of different workplaces and fields that I don't know. And if they're legends, I want to talk to them. So where can they send that to?
You can email us at info@letsgowin.com or reach us on any of the social media platforms. We're on all of them. But make sure to check out the podcast, look through it, because I feel that we've had a lot of legends as guests on our podcast, like amazing superhumans that have done great work in the sports industry, have given back, all these things, they're just amazing. So make sure you check it out. And it's been, I think we're almost getting close to 200 episodes.
Is that right?
There's a lot of guests on there.
Yeah.
Check out.
Well, I had somebody on that literally wrote a book called Legendary, and I'll just quick shout out, because we're saying legend, Tommy Breedlove, and I know it's something that he's shooting for. So I guess my ask would be, share this, guys. We continue to watch the numbers grow, which is fantastic. I think we are providing value, and I hope that you share it with your friends. And so until next time, remember, your mindset matters. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.